Hello, wrestling fans. It's your boy SKANDOUZ, the hip hop original, alongside.
Brr. It's Sire. How you lot doing?
Yeah,
You
yeah.
all right?
So we're hitting you with a quick, yeah, that's the one. We're hitting you with a quick, I wouldn't even say it's an official episode, but it's like one of those side mission episodes where we're just gonna tell you about this weekend that we had, as the Mega Powers. It was absolutely groundbreaking. It was legendary, and we're just gonna give you guys a little bit of insight into what we kind of went through, man.
I share the same sentiments. It was an awesome weekend. Very memorable. Like we've collected fuckloads of epic moments just being there. And we got to do a lot more. Um, um, I was just telling Scan that I've been to WrestleMania. I was at the WrestleMania 33, and I enjoyed this weekend more. I honestly did. I had such a good time. Such brilliant storytelling was told. And it could be a difference between promos and matches being presented because every time you go to an event, there's no promos. But you know, I think I've witnessed probably one of the greatest promos I've ever personally seen in my life over the weekend. But you're right. Let's kick it off with SmackDown. Yeah. The settings. We walked in, we got a little bit merry before we walked in at the bar outside. Before going in, we saw some commotion and people interviewing people. So we were like, what's going on in there? Let's say what, go on, let's network. And you say it, who did we meet?
Well, we met John Cena, according to TikTok, one of the most famous, the Black John Cena, which I was not aware of, but people walking by were fully aware of and were shouting him out, and he's a bit of a celebrity. So obviously, me and Sire had to go get this photo with him, and yeah, man, it was an experience, bro. He's quite a guy. I don't know if I would want to be famous for looking like another guy, but. It is what it is, man.
Well, that's why I got rid of the fade. Too many people started calling me Drake and I got done with it, you know what I mean? And then he grew his hair the minute I fucking did that. Drake anyway. Yeah, no, it was, and he goes by the Black John Cena. Wore a bright pinstripe suit, not too bright. Hench as fuck. I couldn't see it. Scan kept pointing it out. I was like, look closer. I was like, what? I just don't see it. And then when he started smiling, do you know what I mean? Just that strong G.I. Joe jaw of John Cena. And then I was like, okay, I can see why the internet's gone mad. But can the internet relax? Like getting paid, yeah, put money in his pocket, but it's just so weird, this place. Do you know what I mean? Like someone could get famous over that. But he's a wonderful character. We wanted to go to Sweet Gin Disco with him. We thought walking in with him would be epic. Never happened. But we left on a high. We were merry, just met John Cena, not the real one. And on our way, did we go straight to our seats from there, didn't we? Yeah, we skipped a
Yeah.
huge line, the fucking manic line at the O2. And I suggest do that, man. You don't need to take my secrets or anything, but just wait to the end and then there's no line. It's
Mm,
no difference. You just
yeah.
smell hairy wrestling fans instead of just walking clear. So we walked clear and we were quite close, weren't we? We were like next to where the camera's showing. We were just a bit above there, and seats sort of in the darkness, like the Undertaker, so you couldn't see us. But yeah, we are on fucking TV.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Definitely in the final segment with the contract signing, you'll see a couple of mega powers in the background somewhere. It's yeah, man, it was all right, man.
I
Yeah,
need to
we
I need to clip the bit when Punk announces I'm going to WrestleMania. You you have to see what I'm doing. It's fucking I don't know what I'm starting to do this shit, and then like I go like that for some reason, and then my sunglasses fall on my eyes by themselves, and I'm like, that's fucking hilarious.
man.
Um, but yeah, what did it open up with? Who else? No one expected him to be there that evening. Nor did I didn't look at the program before I walked in. We got a Cody Rhodes entrance.
Mm, yeah.
And then I forgot what he said. We were a bit drunk by then. What did he say? But I know Randy came. I know what happened after that. Did he
Yeah,
just say,
yeah. I think
welcome
I think
to
he
only
took some more shots at Cena. Then Randy came out and then let him know that he's not gonna stab him in the back. probably going to stab him in the front, and he wants a title shot like after Mania, after he kicks off Kevin Owens' head, you know. And then we got Drew McIntyre as well, and
Good
sort of
old
got a
Drew.
dream match, man, on a random SmackDown, which was pretty cool.
Absolutely. That's what I mean. I turned to you straight away, like fucking Drew and Randy. I'll take it. Yes. I wanted Fatu versus LA Knight that evening. We got him and Braun, but which turned out to be all right, except for the I would like only one DQ finish on an evening rather than two, which is what we got that evening. But yeah, Randy came out, said exactly what you said, told him that, I'm going to stab you in the front, similar to what Punk said. Congratulated him, really endearingly sort of said thank you. And you could see there was some emotion in Cody's eyes. He was actually taken back, or he's a mediocre actor. But Randy, after that segment, forget the bit when Drew coming out, just staying with Randy and Cody. People are saying Randy's a third man. I don't know if it makes sense because he wants the title, right? And I'm
Yeah.
pretty sure he's gonna fight in Backlash for the title.
Mm.
But is Randy gonna cost Cody the title as the third man? That's my question. What do you think? Just with everything that's happened, I don't. I was discussing with my brother yesterday. I don't think it connects because if he cost him the title, he's helping John Cena, and the idea he's going to fight a Backlash. Does that mean? And he has to fight John Cena before his retirement tour, and
Yeah, yeah.
Cena's heel. So it doesn't make sense for me there. What do you think about the speculation after that segment?
Personally, I've not heard that speculation, man, but I know that it's going to be Orton at Backlash because Backlash is in St. Louis. That's Orton's home city, and I feel that Orton, even though he probably won't win it, he'll get like that. The crowd reaction will be crazy. WWE is definitely capitalizing on getting the most out of its crowds at the moment. One thing I observed with this event and Raw compared to watching WWE live in the past. Like the shows just seem so well put together now, man. It just is smooth, like, and it's like it's a bit well balanced now. Um, but yeah, and the crowd's well into it, man. So yeah, I don't know. When it comes to the third man, I don't know, bro. That's a good question. If there'll even
I
be
think
a third man.
I think I don't know if there will be, but I do think Randy won't cost Cody. I think Cody will lose. So I don't know how. I would prefer it was clean.
Mm,
And Randy avenges Cody for Backlash after a Raw after Mania beatdown on
yeah,
Cody. Maybe
yeah,
with a
yeah.
by Brock again. I
Yeah,
don't.
I suspect that Cody's gonna get obliterated on the Raw after Mania, or even at Mania, because he's
Maybe.
been on a tear for like 2 years, man. He needs at least like the time from Mania to SummerSlam off, so that's probably gonna happen. You know, yeah,
And
that's
to
what I
your
see.
and
Sorry?
to your credit, you're right. The experience live, like compared to watching at home, like or even other live events I've been to, when it said good evening WWE Universe in that computerized Tesla voice or whatever, and it just sort of like, look, I think, and Ollie Davis said this on Wrestle Talk. There's an argument that not wrestling live event production is the best production that exists.
Ooh,
Forget music concerts, forget theater, forget all of that. Like wrestling, it is the most like professional, epic tier of what that's supposed to be in comparison of like the Super Bowl football games, boxing and all that. Oh, UFC. I think they are the elite and also by like miles away after what we experienced. Um, and I saw the difference between Raw being on Netflix completely and SmackDown because Raw was the smoothest show I've ever seen in my life. Where SmackDown, they still put the lights down and they
mm,
still had, do you know what I mean? People walking about and cut to segments, whatever it is. But yeah, no, beautiful production. It is I understand. I mean, I don't agree with the spike hike of prices so much, but I can understand why it might cost a little bit more. Not
yeah,
the
yeah,
amount.
yeah. You're getting a premium event, man. That's whichever way you want to put it. You know what I mean? The levels are up, bro. You know what I mean? The star power is there as well. You know what I mean? They're obviously in the past, you'd probably get like 1 star per show. you this time around you got like about at least four or five. You know what I mean? It was a lot going on, man. But yeah, we're skimming through it, man. I did
Well,
notice
Drew
that
came.
the crowd was hot, but I also noticed that for the things they weren't hot about, it was obvious. Silence, like random football chants, people taking a piss break. It was a lot going on, bro. You could definitely see the difference.
You know, the football chant wasn't as random as we thought it was because it makes no fucking sense.
It
It's
makes
because
no sense.
no, because it was Chelsea green. That's why they started screaming they hate Tottenham because Chelsea was in the ring. That's why, apparently.
But it was the amount of
Yeah.
anti-Tottenham chants that went on throughout the night. It wasn't just one, there was about
Mm.
three different ones. And it was just like, what? I don't even like Tottenham, but I felt bad for Tottenham fans, bro. They
You,
just get roasted at like WWE events to the point you could, when you watch SmackDown back, you can hear what do we think of Tottenham? Like during the women's tag match, which is just crazy. Like I can't even imagine what American fans, what fans around the world are thinking when they hear that. They're probably thinking like, "What's Tottenham?
well,
Like,
if you
why
want to read
Tottenham
the
get my
answer to
team?"
that question, the answer is shit. That's what we think. And the second thing is, they weren't screaming Tottenham all the time. Do you know what they were doing? They were screaming Scotland because the beef between the noise that we were, that can possibly be made. So it's just a bit of like patriotic banter, I
But
guess.
the thing is, right? Does it get to a point where like some of the chanting was legendary, bro? Like you could tell it kind of extended segments, like because obviously they couldn't talk over it. It was going on so long, and you could kind of tell where they overran a little bit in the final segment. But it's like, do you think fans sometimes hijack the shows?
Yeah, of course I do. With the
But is
European
that a
tour,
good thing or a bad thing?
um, it depends. I'm not too against how it was done in the last couple of weeks, including what we went to, because it is actually showing so much love and adulation for the product. And I think it wasn't trying to purposely be disruptive because they hate the product, because you can tell the difference. You can tell when beach balls are being thrown at Raw after Mania. I was there
Yeah,
and they were chanting way more shit out of context of what was going on. This was more in the context of they're chanting Cody's name, they're singing Randy's song, only in those specific moments. I don't think they're as carried away as it's been in the past. I think it is up to wrestlers to manage it and mediate it. It can be much more difficult. You can see that was what was going on in the last segment of SmackDown. Um, yeah, I mean, watching from home, you're probably like, okay, get on with it. Do you know what I mean? But I don't care. In the crowd, yeah, I don't give a fuck. Do you know what I mean?
yeah,
And there's an argument for WWE specifically. People are going to do that because
yeah,
the wrestling isn't AEW New Japan hard hitting flips. I think the wrestling has sort of, apart from a couple of matches, just gone down in terms of level of excitement and engagement with the
yeah.
shows we were watching.
But it's a
So it's
lot though, because it's literally 52 weeks a year, bro, of non-stop. There's no off season. So it's like you can't expect magic on every single show, which is mad. And quite frankly, man, like you said, bro, they're charging these people ridiculous prices to be there. So more or less they should chant whatever they want, really. You know what I mean? What can you tell them? So
yeah, I wouldn't want someone chanting what in an emotional segment. I wouldn't want
yeah,
someone chant, I don't like it when it's hijacked that way. I don't like it when it's I mean, we can go into business for ourselves, but
yeah,
it felt like we were doing it all weekend to support the show, not
yeah,
to say how much we hate the show. So I
yeah.
don't mind. You know what I mean?
Because I remember going to Money in the Bank and feeling a bit like off, bro, because it was so much like profanity, like, and I'm like, damn, I was like, I'm thinking about all the little kids because a lot of kids go to this, bro, and I've noticed it's toned down a lot since Money in the Bank.
Yeah, I'm like John Cena, fuck the kids, bro. Do you know what I mean? Like, if you want to say Roman is a wanker, Roman is a wanker, la 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 la, like, I'm all up for that. Do you know what I mean? It's just a bit of fun. So, yeah, I mean, I was moved as a kid when the swearing got too much in football.
Mm.
like my uncles and that. I get it. Um, I mean, yeah, I get it. I don't like if there was a chant of a lot of swearing and profanity and I was around kids, I might second guess myself, but then again, I might not because I'm in an adult show in an
Yeah,
adult
because even
environment.
Netflix is cutting it out, bro. That's the thing. So if Netflix are cutting it out, and there should be no restrictions because Netflix ain't a network, like it's probably telling you that, boy, that's a lot going on there.
There are restrictions. I was looking into this. I think Luke Owen brought this up in Elimination Chamber actually.
Mm.
Um, there is a certain amount of fucks they can get away with and a certain amount of shits. Just with the licensing laws they got, it's different for like shows or other things that they've got on Netflix. But with live streams and advertisers, I think like there was a bit where the reason why we got a rock, go fuck yourself, and there was certain chants that happened in the beginning of the pay-per-view which had the word fuck in it. They purposely turned that down to reserve the single fuck that they were going to use. So there's a strategic way of how they're using profanity. So they'll cut the crowd so that the promo can get it. So that's what I've learned. But I just don't censor anything really. Fuck it.
Well, within reason, man. You don't want like some craziness being said like online. So yeah,
Yeah.
I guess within reason, man. But yeah, so what do we think of the rest of SmackDown, man? Obviously there
But
was
Drew coming out, just to ending that segment, Drew came out and said, "Fuck you, Randy. What have you done? I'm coming for the title. You've been injured. I've been holding the company. I've been carrying it on my back doing bits, bro. I'm like the number. Everyone wants me to be the number one guy these days, and that's true. He'd
mm,
be fantastic as the champion. So he said, "No, bitch, I'm coming from it." And again, tell me when he's telling lies.
yeah,
Drew is right. Kevin is right.
yeah. See, and that's
Yeah.
the thing, they both can be right at the end of the day. That's the thing, man. And I like this new era of heels where the heels are not necessarily lying, bro. It depends on where you stand morally. You know what I mean? And it's like they could be a bad guy or a good guy, you know?
I don't think Drew's done anything wrong so far. Kevin's taken it far. He's
Yeah.
pile driving bastards and killing his best friend and stalking his wife outside his house and his kid. So I don't think Drew's done anything wrong. I don't know one heel thing he's done. I'm trying to think. Everything he did to Punk was in response.
Mm,
You know what I mean?
yeah.
What was next after that? Do you remember? I forgot.
Um, I I ain't got the breakdown, man. But if you want, I wanna jump straight to that Orton Drew match. It was kind of like in the middle of the show, so it was
Yeah,
like
that's good.
and SmackDown is a bit of a slog, man. It's like a full 3 hours, man. And we felt that, but the match itself was brilliant, bro. It was, you know, what I mean, it's good to see Randy still wrestling at that level, bro. You know. And obviously telling Cody he's coming for 14. So he's probably trying to break Cena's record. So that's interesting to see, man.
Would you
And
want to see
to,
that? Or do you
and
want
to
to
see
keep?
him take a pin clean as well, more or less. What did you think?
No, you got distracted.
Yeah, kinda. But it only took one Claymore to beat him. Like he probably took about three to beat Punk.
But he was distracted this time, so he couldn't prepare himself. Because you saw what happened. Kevin was walking down. He
Yeah,
looked, turned around, Claymore.
yeah,
I
yeah,
don't know. I think that Punk taking a couple of Claymores before he whatever
yeah.
before he kicked out before I think that's fine for pay-per-views and big matches like Hell in a Cell
Mm,
and maybe even like the Raw match with Seth, which was fun. But
yeah,
Claymore's been protected. Everyone kick everyone. Minute they hit, you're
yeah,
down 3. It's only very rare occasions, so I'm okay with that. Yeah.
yeah. That's true,
Um,
man. That's very true. But then I noticed with certain wrestlers, man, and even Randy Orton, bro, it's like they could get beat and it doesn't matter. Like, you know, like Randy's character is not diminished in any way whatsoever. Like,
yeah, he got beat. Look, it's also he's at the tenure. He's like the tail end of his career,
yeah,
and he put over Gunther at King of the Ring. He's put over a few people. He is at the Cena putting over stage now, but I still think he's a force to be reckoned with as a strong baby face for a bit until he turns heel on Cody. And losing to Drew, I think. he can't be pinned by the wrong person at the wrong time and the wrong occasion. That's still whack. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
I don't like that Penta got pinned today at Raw. He got pinned and it was just well,
Tag
we'll get
match.
to that later, but
Yeah.
it didn't mean anything for me.
Yeah, yeah, that's true. They should have set that up a bit bigger, man. That should have meant more. You know what I mean? Because that's his first pin. Cool. So yeah, that was a big match. And what else? Anything else that stood out on SmackDown for you?
I'm just
The
trying to
women or anything?
well, I know the women had a match, right? It's Michin versus Charlotte, wasn't it? Was it Michin
Yeah.
versus Charlotte?
So yeah, so Naomi's promo was epic, bro. She did the thing with the crying
That came
again.
out first. That came out first. Yeah, Naomi's. Yeah, again, this was one of those events where actually, if you watch that at home, it came out much more clearer.
Yeah,
Uh, but yeah, just from even what we saw or heard on stage, the delusion, the insanity, this is what we Magic's gonna eat his words. Naomi has got it, man. Do you know what I mean? This is what we've been asking for.
yeah,
It may should have been done earlier, but I'm just happy we got it now. Like,
yeah.
what did you? I didn't watch. I went to the toilet, not because I'm sexist, because I really had to piss. Um, and then but I missed the whole Cargill coming out and Naomi interruption. What was that like? Like,
Yeah, man. Cargill's still got it, man, in terms of star power. Just came out, and then her and Charlotte had a little stare down. So that's gonna be like, you can notice with the main event women wrestlers, man, they've definitely got it. Like the superstar aura to them. Like, and the crowds react that way as well, you know? So people gonna want to see Naomi versus Jade versus Charlotte, like all the big players. And I guess they're teasing feuds that are going to be coming down in the future as well. So it'll be interesting to see, man. And with them about to announce the all women's pay-per-view coming back, it's going to be like they've got more star power now than they probably had when Ronda Rousey was there. So that's
yeah.
my view on it.
And you got Triple H with the pen,
Yeah.
even though some of his women's booking has been slightly questionable. I'm referring back to the Royal Rumble mainly,
Mm.
and a few, and the Intercontinental and US titles. But yeah, if I really hope Evolution 2.0 is a way of just jump starting those titles because like the big question about those because I think did she come out for a match an Intercontinental? Um, no, Chelsea didn't come out for a match.
Her Hervis, her secret Hervis came out for a tag match against the Party Girls that made their comeback. And so the Party Girls got beat in
And
a
it's so
pretty,
unfair on the party girls, man. Like the party girls got no reaction. And
yeah,
they're good wrestlers. They're a really fun tag team to watch. They've got no promo TV time for months. When I saw them, I was like, "Oh shit, you're here." You know what I
yeah.
mean? I was like, cool to watch them, but I didn't even know it was your music.
See,
Did
and I
you?
think, yeah, man, and I think that's rough, with especially with some of these new theme songs are just so generic and like it's like the same trap beat again and again and again, which is weird. Like, and one thing I noticed by going to these live shows, man, how difficult it must be for a wrestler to perform to complete silence. Like, it must be like you must feel like you're training in a PC or something, man. It's like to have about what 12,000 people watching you and nobody's saying nothing or they're chanting for random football teams. Bro, you kind of feel a bit, would you feel a bit put off if you was trying to perform for these people and you were getting no reaction?
I can't put myself in their shoes.
Mm,
Because as a professional, you probably go to ups and downs on how do you respond to that. I think the best that I've seen have been able to pick the crowd up
yeah,
in certain spots and moments and really read the room, no
yeah,
matter where they are.
yeah,
And I think you can even sometimes do that when you have no push or no promo
yeah,
or no real thing. I think when you start getting hot and popular, almost WWE are forced to do stuff like that.
yeah,
I think of Gable like that. I think of Sammy. I think of like that's the differences. I'm not, and I don't feel like I don't want to sound like I'm criticizing Finn and Shinsuke, but between Sammy and Gable, you could see that every day they were giving dog shit for a long time,
yeah,
like conspiracy theory Sammy, and then Gable was like whatever he's been doing. But
Yeah,
they can read the room and spot the crowd and elevate the atmosphere.
yeah.
Whereas
Because
I don't.
I noticed that with the Miz, like the Miz has got really nothing going on for him. But when he came out, like you could feel like he's still the Miz. Like even though he's gonna get squashed in like 2 minutes, like Miz makes the most of his 2 minutes.
Miz and Jimmy had a match, innit?
Yeah,
It's, some of it's such a blur. You know, I couldn't remember that AJ got laid out by Logan. I watched it back. I was like, did that happen? I was like, oh
yeah.
shit. But what happened in the Jimmy match, bro? Now that you brought that
So
up,
so they basically it was just a match really to heat up Jimmy for Monday, innit?
he
So
won, innit?
so he just he fake slapped him backstage, which he did that like you know when they flinched like when he used to be in secondary school and he used to pretend to hit somebody like so he gave him
Oh
that.
yeah, I remember that. Yeah, I popped for that.
And then yeah, the match itself, man, was brief, bro. Carmelo didn't even come out with him. Um, Jimmy handled that, looked strong. Obviously we know what happened to him on Monday, but yeah, that was that in a nutshell, bro. I can't think of many other matches on the show. Obviously they had a tag team match with Pretty Deadly and the Street Profits. I thought Pretty Deadly would have got a bigger reaction, man, considering they're London boys. But yeah, Street Profits just done them in, man.
Um,
Yeah.
Pretty Deadly are face now, from what I heard. I didn't know that. How? Um, I think they got. I mean, I think they got a decent. I think they got an okay reaction, but not nowhere near to the live show we went. When we went to the live show, they got really like popped.
Yeah.
Um, I think. Look, what do you think about Jimmy pinning two former WWE champions now, Miz
Yeah.
and Drew?
It's a good look for
Okay.
it, man. But it's how they capitalize off of it. You know what I mean? If there's no capitalizing, then it's just for nothing, really. You know what I mean? But yeah, that's how I feel about it, man. But yeah, so should we talk about the main event segment?
We'll
The
just
contract
quickly touch
signing.
on the just because we're best friends with Braun now. No, I'm
Oh
joking,
yeah,
but
yeah, yeah. Braun
he's
Strowman versus for the US title, Braun Strowman versus LA Knight. What do you think of that?
um I think that was the most entertaining. I think there was three matches that stood out on that evening. Like I got my opinions on tag team wrestling when it came to Street Profits versus Pretty Deadly. I think tag team dressings are is too predictable now with WWE. Not to be overcritical, but they always work over for the hot tag and work over somebody, and then it's the same copy and paste formula. I would like a lot more interest in tag team wrestling because every match is exactly the same.
Yeah,
Not just my take. There's a few other podcasters saying that, and once they highlighted that, I really thought about it. I'm like, every tag team match is exactly the same. They're right.
yeah,
Um, the Drew and Randy we talked about, that was the most epic match. I think LA and Braun was the most like gimmicky, high spot, sort of crowd controlled
yeah,
like match, which brought the most entertainment. So it did the
yeah.
job,
And
but
then obviously the run in with Jacob, giving him the splashes. Obviously he's over. Everybody's like one more time. Crushed him a few times and then dipped. And then they had the backstage segment where like Solo was telling him, "Ah, that was brutal."
and you know what? We talked to Mark after that, name
Go on.
drop, but we talked to Mark after that, and he loved that promo at the end.
Hmm.
And like, I told him, like, bro, we got Randy and Drew, can't complain. We got Jacob for two coming out, and that I can't believe we nearly skipped that. That was one of my favorite moments of SmackDown. He fucked man up. Did the Samoa drop on LA Knight, banged up man with the hip shot in the turnbuckle to Braun constantly and doing moonsaults, which look so fucking beautiful. But to come out to Solo and have the first tension, it's like, hey. And Solo didn't say, you can't talk to me like that. He said, you can't talk to Tama like that.
Woo.
Do you know what I mean? So it almost, I think that was strategic to sort of take the spotlight off him and the anger and look like he was defending someone presumably he's got an alliance with. So I think that prevented the Jacob headbutt from right there. But Jacob saying like, I'm getting the US title with or without you.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I mean fucking brilliant. Yeah. So
So yeah, let's talk about the last segment, man. Contract signing for the triple
mm,
threat match. It was slightly different because obviously with these things they're so cliche and predictable. You know what I mean? They're always nowadays they're always trying to do something different with it. So they basically didn't have them all sign at the same time. Everybody literally just turned up individually. The first two guys. What did you think of that?
love that.
Yeah.
Love that. Everyone got their moment. Everyone and you know, like even when they were all together, that was kind of Punk's moment. Do you know what I mean? So Roman came out and we serenaded that man. Roman Reigns, constantly to the point Paul Heyman was singing it. And fucking hell, is Roman a comedian now, bro? His character was so much. I know he's got this arrogant sort of comedian, memey sort of, but it just came to life, and I loved it, man.
Mm,
That's how you sing to your tribal chief. All of that shit, like, it was funny.
yeah.
Um, and then yeah, Seth came out straight after. Roman didn't say much more than that.
Mm.
He just said, "Let's just get to business." Seth came out, tried to tried to evoke the past with Reigns and everything, and Roman treated him like a fucking ex-girlfriend, and it was brilliant. It was just like, bro, that was ages ago. What are you talking about? That was ages ago. Like, I did the work. You're just been here. Do you know what I mean? And then Punk came and he said he's just here to sign a contract and chew bubblegum and he's out of gum. And then it came to the point where he was going over the contract. We all knew that kind of scene would happen because he said, I'm going to make sure that what's in that contract is what I've asked for, whatever. Play close attention. Roman's saying, Today, Junior, this is TV time.
Mm.
Well, that was deep. But, and then, yeah, just the whole Paul Heyman moment. I think, look, I think being part of the John Cena promo, even though I was fucking miles away, um, was a was a privilege to be part of. But watching, even though this is not the main event I wanted, even though this is not how I wanted to see Punk main event, this is how I wanted it delivered.
Yeah.
Like this was how I wanted Paul Heyman like hugging him and saying, "You're going to main event the show and close it. You are a main eventer," and Punk crying,
Yeah.
fucking brilliant.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
What about Seth melting down though about it?
yeah. I mean, he's been a third wheel, isn't it? He's been. I heard somewhere like he's been the third wheel in every feud he's been in when there's more than just one person. Last Mania it was a fourth wheel. Damien, Drew, and him. He was the third wheel, and here he's the third wheel. Like I would. Yeah, maybe. Look, I think the swerve comes from Seth. I think the match is Roman versus Punk really is what we makes more sense. But the story is going to drive itself somewhere unexpected
Yeah.
because of Seth. Hopefully, yeah. I'm not so gassed about that. I was more gassed about the other stuff.
But
Wipe those
overall,
tears off your eyes. Shut up, man.
but overall, it was a good SmackDown though, yeah?
Oh yeah. This has been this SmackDown and the Raw that we went to. I think has been the best in the road to WrestleMania.
So far.
I'm really biased because fuck it, but I really genuinely think that has been the best two for the road to WrestleMania.
Mm. And did you
Mm.
feel like the crowd was anywhere near the Paris crowd?
No, I think the Paris they got a lot to catch up when it comes to the Paris crowd. That crowd gave birth to the Randy Orton singing. That crowd has probably got the best chant for a wrestler ever, which is AJ Styles. That crowd did sing football songs, but it sounded so beautiful, just how it was like serenading the match as it was going along. Um, yeah, there was much more like these chants that we're kind of used to that we were doing in London and even in America, but the stuff that we heard in Paris just was so new that it kind of just hit more. Yeah.
Yeah. I agree, man. Totally agree. Right. Okay, cool. So that wraps up SmackDown. After that came Monday Night Raw, live from the O2 Arena again. Obviously we went, but this time we were on two different sides of the arena.
Yeah,
So
we were.
and Raw opened with an probably, would we say, could this go down as an all-timer in terms of a Raw opening segment? What do you think?
Yes, yes,
Yeah.
yes. All time. It might be John Cena's best ever promo. I don't think
Wow.
you'll be able to find a John Cena promo that's better than that. And if you can, put it in the comments and argue with me. There's a few that come to my mind. The only one I can think about was the Roman one in Before No Mercy.
Yeah.
Honestly, there really isn't. This was his best promo, and we got to see it live. Fuck yeah. Um, yeah, how do you want to start? Because I saw it, but there was a mix up with my seat, so I saw it from the fucking rocket ships, and then they moved me back to a normal seat where I was.
Yeah.
So
I
yeah,
basically I went with my mate and it was the first time he'd ever seen like wrestling live, and obviously compared it to obviously the first thing you do. And shout out to So Nikki as well, because she was there too. And that was also the first event she'd ever seen live. And I
big
guess
up, son Nicky.
yeah, shout out to Nikki. But yeah, again, it's that I think back to the first time I ever saw wrestling live, and you think to yourself, am I going to enjoy it as much if I can't hear no commentary? But I think what you gain from, obviously you lose not hearing no commentary, but you gain from just the energy in the room and being around thousands of like-minded wrestling fans. And it just takes like the best moments to an absolute another level, man. The you still get that reaction when Cena's music hits. It's that shock and it's their initial cheer, and then it suddenly goes boo. Because you remember, obviously he's a heel now, isn't it? But the best promos for me is that after every segment of the promo, when someone finishes speaking, you think, oh, that's it. He's murdered him. He can't come back from that. And then Cena comes back, murders Cody, and you're like, ah, Cody can't come back from that. And then Cody comes back and then smashes it as well. So it's just such a balanced back and forth. Like,
Mm,
obviously, personally, I felt like Cena held back a little bit because I,
yeah.
I I think Cena at his best would murder guys, but he can't. He has to protect Cody a little bit. I don't know. What did you think? And did you watch it back afterwards, like when you got home?
Bro, yes, because they put me in the wrong seat, so I watched it back because, and let me say something, yeah, because I do agree to a certain extent. And that sounds bad. I wouldn't have enjoyed it if I was in that seat the entire time.
Yeah,
Like that, I do. For me, I've gone to a lot of wrestling shows in my life, and you're right. When you're there and you can see hair and the atmosphere is brilliant, there's nothing like it. It's way better than watching it at home.
yeah.
Um, but I wouldn't go to WrestleMania and spend so much money to sit high up because I just don't have the same experience. The
Mhm.
the the, the volume doesn't reach, which we noticed, to the top there, so we couldn't hear certain lines. Like I didn't hear the I'm going to bury you. This is how powerful this promo was, is that we could hear because almost the reactions of people confirmed what he did already say. Because even high up in the crowd, like high up where we were for this specific segment, every line drop, everyone went, oh, 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 oh. What did he say? Like, he said Barry, oh, oh, do you know what I mean? It was like that shit. Um, and when the cool and it actually no, I'm gonna take credit for it. You see the piece of shit chant that started? That was me and my boy. We started screaming. I said, piece of shit. And the whole world went piece of shit. And I was like, yeah, boy.
Oh
But
man.
no, yeah, I think that promo was so powerful that if you had the highest seats in the world, it was still the most amazing experience. Um, fucking hell, man.
But who do you
Fucking
think
hell.
who do you think won it though? Like, or who had the hardest bars?
It's weird. Oh, so my favorite two bars, and there's still really good ones, each from each. I think my favorite bar from Cena was, I've built empires for billionaires. You've just taken their kids' money. Huge shot to Tony. Oh, it's just brilliant. And then what I never saw coming, which made me think, is when Cody says, "Don't act like you left this place better than you found it." Because he left in 2016. It wasn't great. And he went to Hollywood. Don't act like you left this place better than you found it. And I thought that those two lines were like the killers. Yes, Vince got brought up, but I saw Vince coming, to be fair. I had a feeling
Did
Vince would get
you?
brought up.
But the way he dropped it though, he was like, you know, you was chosen by one man in a room who we can't talk about anymore.
We
Which
can't talk about anymore. We couldn't hear. If I
yeah,
heard that, it might have hit different.
yeah. Where Cody was like, look, the people chose me, you know. But uh,
That's when people were booing. Like I was there when Cena, we were all there, but Cena was getting cheered when he dropped his final line. And then Cody said they chose me, which
mm,
was like, okay. And then he dropped the Vince line, and then everyone cheered him. Do you know what I mean? It's like
yeah.
Cody could have got a lesser, a Roman Reigns in 2014. If he didn't handle that line properly, would have got booed, but maybe the entire road to WrestleMania straight away. That very moment there, Cody catching that and bringing the crowd back on his side was genius.
In hindsight now, I think it was the smartest move to turn John Cena heel, even though that wasn't the original plan. Because if Rock got his way and it was Cody that turned heel, I don't think that would have worked the same.
Wouldn't it would be like a strong young wrestler who's now heel with Cena saying I'm going to beat him and hasn't won a match. It doesn't make sense to me.
Yeah.
But if you're asking who won, I think it's a draw. I think the only reason it's a draw, I think Cena came up with better bars,
Yeah.
but Cena's also talking to himself.
Yeah.
So for the
I,
characters,
yeah, I
it's a
like the
draw.
way Cena's trolling the internet crowd. I like the way he told him, like, you're going to end up needing to buy a replica belt because the real one's coming with me. And that he's put too much work in to make that title mean something. Bars like that, you know. But it's just, I think what gives it to Cena a little bit is that Cena's whole character seems fresh. Like
Yeah.
in every promo is he's exploring new territory that's not been explored yet with his character. So it's like it's engaging in that respect because you want to hear what he's gonna say next and and he seems so self-aware now. Like he's been listening to all the criticism for 20 years and he's just literally he's almost like that rapper Chipmunk, bro. He's not gonna run out of bars. Like he's got 20 years of bars. Like, so he can literally go back to back with every baby face, bro, for like full promo runs, and it's gonna feel like it's like fresh and new. So that's gonna be interesting, man, as things progress. But to me, man, he has to, without a shadow of doubt, he has to win. Like he might
Yeah,
not win clean, but he has to win.
I don't see any rivalry I'm so interested in with Cody. I think if you're gonna, I was talking to my brother about this the other day. I was like, if you're gonna do, if you're gonna do a Punk Roman feud in the May, June, July months and the Cena Randy feud in those months, the only way I think you can take Cody away, I think a lazy option to take Cody away is Drew. A real good option is The Rock.
Yeah,
So I think to separate Cody's revenge for the title to give Cena space to breathe with other wrestlers, you got to bring The Rock in for a SummerSlam match. You just got
yeah. I think that's right. I think they have to do Cody versus Rock at SummerSlam. So it's literally logically Rock has to take him out. How he takes him out, that's going to be questionable, but it's going to be, yeah, that's the only thing I can see happening, man. The Rock and Travis Scott just like, I don't know, run him over with a car or something, you know,
I
but it's
see
quite
Stone
crazy.
Cold coming for the save though at Mania.
Yeah,
I think it's going to be like a gimmicky like 40, which is love by the way, like everyone interrupting. But I don't know. I got a feeling. But then Stone Cold, the end has to be a heel end. It has to be like not Stone Cold shaking Vince McMahon's hand literally, but it has to be that feeling. You
yeah,
know, we've had too many rejoice. Well, WrestleMania 39 was a downer because Roman won, so
sure.
heel won. and everyone's like, "What the fuck?"
But then
Uh,
38 was a hill one as well, isn't it? Really? And 37.
was it
Yeah, we got
38
three
Roman
hill.
one?
Yeah, three because
Oh, he's the hill.
37 he beat Lesnar. 38 he beat Daniel Bryan and Edge
You mean the
at
other
the
way around?
same time. Yeah, and then then 39 he beat
39
Cody.
Cody.
Yeah.
Yeah, we only got a baby face reaction on WrestleMania. When's the last time we got a baby? I think WrestleMania 30 was the last baby face. Oh no, WrestleMania 31. Yeah, Seth won the title. I don't think we ever got a baby face reaction after that. Let's hold on. Let's just pause this for a second. Let's just 32 was what? Triple H.
Triple H and Roman.
Cool. Everyone hated that. WrestleMania 33 was what? Roman Undertaker. No one liked that. WrestleMania 34 was Roman Brock. No one liked that. WrestleMania 35. Okay, Becky.
Yeah, Becky. Yeah.
Becky ended it with a okay. WrestleMania 36 was the COVID one, right?
Yeah, that makes
Right,
sense.
so that was Undertaker. That doesn't count. 37 Roman one. So actually, the only pop we've got at the end of a WrestleMania night, the recent one was Becky at WrestleMania 35, who didn't even pin Ronda properly.
Yeah. And the crowd was so exhausted because it was like 7 hours long. So it was like
Yeah,
nothing left. So really and truly, you might as well say that Mania ended with Kofi Mania, man. That's where the crowd had some energy, you
and
know?
that was midway,
And that
right?
was in the
Yeah,
middle of the event.
that's mad. So we've only had one huge, the biggest pop we've had that's the equivalence of WrestleMania 40 was 10 years ago with Daniel Bryan.
Wow. There you
That's
go.
mad if you think about it.
Yeah. That's crazy.
Work that out.
Well, it's gonna
You
be
heard it
another hill.
first. Sorry.
It's gonna be another hill one, man. That's what we're seeing, bro. But the
Yeah.
rest of Raw kind of flew by. It was nicely paced. It didn't feel like it dragged at all. What was other highlights from Raw that you took?
Well, obviously, Gunter, bruv. And the one
Yeah.
thing I regret about that is not getting a photo of Gunter covered in blood. I got his
Mm.
back. I was like, what the fuck is the point of that? But yeah, good. Apparently, I think actually this is an occasion where a lot of people were even really close watched it back. This is better on TV, apparently. It's fucking
Really?
great
Yeah, because
in
you can
live.
hear the little bits where he's talking to him, innit? Because live it felt like it dragged, but that's because we couldn't hear what he was saying.
Yeah, I mean, it was just constant violence, which I love. So I was great. I was watching it. But yeah, apparently you can hear him like taste the blood and spit it out like it's not good enough for him. You can
Oh
hear
wow.
him like, there's like there's a communication and dialogue that I haven't watched that bit back yet. But yeah, man, this is exactly what this feud needed.
Mhm. Yeah.
But I'm gonna ask you a question.
Go on in.
So Jimmy, I think the match was good. Jimmy and Gunther was a very underdog match, whatever. And
Yeah.
then Gunther relentlessly killed him like the way I thought it should happen.
Mm.
All right, now people are a bit more interested in Jay, a bit more.
Yeah.
If Jay wins the title,
Yeah.
and I don't want to be a dickhead, far from I asked my brother one question. Who would you feud him with?
Well, after he's won the belt,
That would be interesting. Who would you put him in a feud up until for 2 months?
up until SummerSlam. Yeah, it don't seem like there's anyone there, man, unless he just continues feuding with Gunther. But then they're looking like they're gonna detour into Goldberg, innit? For Gunther.
Match number
So,
5 with Gunther. Allow it.
yeah, so I presume that the winner of the triple threat with Punk and Roman and Seth is going for that belt.
Maybe a heel Seth actually,
Because it's kind
because
of
I'll
like
be
Seth's belt, isn't it?
yeah, and a heel Seth makes sense. But and this is no shade. I'm not trying to put shade on Jay because he's getting enough unfair criticism and maybe fair criticism too, but mostly unfair. Um, I genuinely, and I don't think I can't think of one feud I'm interested in apart from Sammy, and I don't want to turn Sammy heel. There's no one Jay could face that would make me be like, I can't wait to watch this.
Yeah, I think the only
Give me the
problem,
name.
yeah, the only problem is even though he won the Rumble, he still doesn't feel like a main eventer yet. He still doesn't feel like he can hang with Punk and Seth and Roman, even though he's been flipping main event in SummerSlams with Roman from like 2021. Like,
I mean, I keep saying this, like, I would have kept him in the Intercontinental Championship picture for a bit longer because his promos with Brock was pretty, not Brock, sorry,
Braun.
Braun Breaker.
Mm.
I'm gonna dog walk you. You know, he was. I know, like Jacob said it, but he was the first to say it. Like that. I wasn't expecting much, but then he used to say lines that surprised me. Like, oh shit, okay, okay, Jay, let's go. You know what I mean? I think because I'm excited about so many competitors Jay could have in an Intercontinental Championship picture that
Yeah,
could build him into a world heavyweight scene later down the line.
yeah,
But I honestly, and it's not like I got nothing against Jay, but just for story reasons, I actually want Gunther to win.
yeah,
I don't know, but I could be wrong. I hope I'm wrong because he does deserve it. Like, look at the runs that are biggest wrestlers. Like, The Rock's run wasn't so long. Stone Cold's run wasn't that long. The best wrestlers that we hold, they're not had such a tenure to that it took so long to get a heavyweight title match. So
yeah,
he
yeah.
deserves it.
Mm.
But I just, yeah.
Yeah, I can't see him having a long run. Like his Intercontinental title run was short. If he wins the world title, that's probably going to be short as well. I could see him having it for a few months just to have it on his stats. But to me, that's probably Drew McIntyre's title, man. You know, it's like someone like that.
That could be, you're probably right. You're probably right. That's exactly what it's going to be.
Yeah,
I think, I think, I think that's going to be Drew's title. He's going to win it in King of the Ring and beat and kill Jay. He's
yeah,
going to win the King of the Ring and then kill Jay.
yeah, yeah. Yeah.
Yeah,
See,
good shot.
that's the shout right there. So what else did we have, man? We had obviously
Penta.
Jim Penta got pinned, which you weren't happy about. Or it's the way they did it, really, isn't it? Like they should have built.
Well, I think this is when I really like when I watched Wrestle Talks review and Ollie Davis and Luke were discussing the actual wrestling part of the show and how possibly like people don't go to WWE shows to watch wrestling because it's just us singing songs, having fun, enjoying the entrances and experiences. But compared to AEW, it's not the most captivating stuff. And it's not like they can't do it,
Yeah,
which was their point. They said AEW can't put on a production like that. But WWE can wrestle like that. It's like I don't know if they're keeping each other safe because they don't have to, or
yeah,
but that being said, it's what I said at the top of the show. It was just the play by numbers. I'm tired of tag team matches where they're working over the one of the competitors until they get the real hot tag. Uh, so I with Braun Breaker and Penta, oh, it sound bad. If this was a match in AEW, the kind of shit we would have seen would have been fucking crazy, right? It would have been just flips of flips and hard hitting slaps and kicks and fast paced engagement. So I think I went in expecting an AEW Penta tag team match and got a play by numbers WWE match, and then Penta got pinned.
yeah,
So I wasn't hot on it personally. I enjoyed being there, but if I was watching at home, I'd be like, you know what I mean?
yeah.
Yeah, what about you?
Fair enough. It's one of those things though, because he got pinned by Finn Balor, and Finn Balor's been eating pins for best part of a year. Like, you know,
They're
his
calling
his
him Finn Balor, bro.
they call him Pin Balor, literally, because his stats are in the dirt, bro. And I feel sad for him in a sense. Like maybe he's at the end of his career or something like that. But I feel like he kind of needed that to kind of start to build him up. Like if they're gonna take him serious as a serious contender for the Intercontinental title at Mania, then he's got to pin somebody, and he can't pin Braun. So it's kind of like they're in a catch-22 in that respect. So he like. Penta had to take the L, man, you know. And then obviously they'll probably do the four-way with Dominic or something like that. But I have a feeling, man, that this Mania is kind of getting a bit too congested in terms of like there's so many multi-man matches that I don't know, man.
How many are there?
They got to leave some people off it.
Yeah, we discussed this last episode. That's fine. You
Yeah.
have to. It's just how it happens, man. It's not. But I'm not like again. I'm not up for cramming a four-way US title and Intercontinental Championship match. Just because of that reason. Like again, I would have preferred a one-on-one match with I don't know Fatu versus Bron Breakker or the US title match being what's his name? El Americano?
Oh, Grand Americano from
Yeah,
Samoa.
Grande Americano fighting LA Knight. I would have been more excited. It's maybe not a big caliber match, but it's just it throws me off guard for those two. Maybe one of them could have been a triple threat. We've
Yeah,
got a triple threat of the women's match.
yeah,
Um, yeah, that's where I stand really. I'm not. I know that everyone won't get a chance, but the storyline, you know, can they get along? A tag team match, that's what we saw with Penta and Braun. All the kerfuffle break. It's very, we've seen it all before. When a four-way happens, this is the play by numbers, things that happen before a
yeah,
four-way.
yeah,
So not, I would like to be excited and thrown off.
yeah, yeah. And that's what
Yeah.
makes sense, man. Totally, bro. So should we jump to this main event? I mean, the New Day obviously challenging for the tag titles, probably at Mania against the War Raiders.
Good match. What
Good
they
match?
need the titles. They
Yeah,
need them.
yeah,
I forgot War Raiders. I keep forgetting they came out again and I forgot they were champions.
yeah, yeah.
I was like, oh shit.
It's a forgettable run, man. Like no one cares. Like it's one of those ones.
And
Like,
again, if they haven't had space to breathe, and I think you can give them space to breathe. Or maybe I don't know if they're I don't know. There's
yeah,
enough time in the show to do some shit. Do you know what I mean? New Day needs those titles to just rejuvenate that tag team division. I
yeah,
don't know what to do with SmackDown, but good match.
yeah, yeah. And then we got the main event, obviously Rhea versus Io for the women's championship. Bianca
Oh,
Belair, special guest.
Tyler Bate returned.
Yeah.
That's not cool.
Yeah, the crowd went mild, man, which is sad because he's been out for so long. Comes back with his bloody countrymen, and they was like, eh.
I don't know. You know what the weird thing is? Yeah, it might be where you're sitting because
Yeah,
we were still at the top with Tyler Bate, and actually our section,
yeah.
they were the loudest. Even when
Oh
I was
yeah,
looking back, yeah, they were the loudest. They were fucking all the chants were starting from this little. They were just going nuts. So they were chanting for like New Day, for Tyler, like Big Strong Boy. They're all screaming it. So
yeah.
it's weird. Maybe it's where we were sitting.
Wow.
Yeah,
I felt like SmackDown had more chance than Raw, though, man. That's the vibe I got.
maybe there's
Because
a
other than the opening segment with Cena and Cody, it was like crowd just gave us more on SmackDown, man. That's the vibe that I got.
yeah, yeah. I would say that. Yeah, you got a point there. Yeah, I think you're right.
Yeah,
Um. Cool. Tyler Bates back. Sick. And he
nice
got
one.
pinned. Did he?
And
Oh,
he got
pinned.
pinned.
He got pinned. Yeah.
No, no, Pete Dunne got pinned.
Yeah. Yeah. Pete Dunne got pinned. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah,
Yeah. So he lost on his comeback. So it shows they're taking New Day a bit more seriously, and
yeah,
they know they kind of dropped the ball and they got to like pick this shit back up, like Jay.
yeah.
Um. But yeah, let's go to the main event. What did you think? I thought Bianca looked great, bro. She got a
Yeah.
referee outfit again because that shit worked. You know what I mean? What the fuck?
Yeah, that was live, man. And EO
Yeah.
is so over. But the thing is, so is flipping Rhea Ripley, man. So it's not like they can just turn her heel, bro. Then that's the predicament they're in these days because it's like depending where you go, like Rhea's probably the most popular women's wrestler in the company. So it's like, well, you can't turn her and you can't turn EO again. So what are you gonna do? Because someone's got to be a heel.
It'd probably be Bianca. I'll tell you something though. Rhea's only doing heel shit.
Yeah.
This is heel shit. Someone said Rhea's Karen.
I don't know. She's that's an interesting take, man. But I do agree she is doing hill stuff, but
Who goes to
they're
the
not
damn
booing her.
contract signing, puts their name on it like it's theirs, and says, I want to speak to the manager. I want to be in this thing. It's a character.
That's funny. That is absolutely hilarious. Mad, mad. But as a match, though, it was fine. Obviously, the crowd weren't happy with the double DQ,
Nah.
but it made storyline sense, I guess. Now they just got to find a way to put Rhea in the match.
Could have been a double pin, man.
Yeah,
Or maybe I don't know. I get it. Because we want to protect the idea that Rhea's never beat Io,
yeah.
right? If it's a double pin, technically, does that mean she's beat Io or is it a draw?
Yeah, she's pinned there. So the fact that they should keep that streak going, man, you know, because it
How
came
would
to
you
a point like about a year or so ago where Rhea just looked invincible and like nobody could beat her. So now it's looking like, oh, well, you can never beat Io and you look vulnerable now, which I think is best for a character.
yeah.
So yeah.
Well, how would you have finished it? I know it's kind of hard because a double DQ makes sense for a triple threat, but if there was an alternative way where no one got pinned, what would you have done? And don't say count out.
Yeah, it has to be. That's the only way they could have done it, man. Without nobody taking a pinfall or submission, keeping everybody strong, and then we go bang into that triple threat, man.
See, I wasn't so at the time, I wasn't so pissed off about it.
Yeah.
Because I was just like, what else could have happened? There's nothing else. Maybe there is. Not that comes to my mind.
Yeah, yeah. And plus, we only got 2 weeks left, man, and then it's done. And it's Mania.
So do you think Bianca's turning heel?
I don't know, man. The problem is they're turning too many people heels. They got to chill out a bit. Like, you got to let Naomi one breathe a little bit. Maybe they'll just carry it on how it is. Even though with one of them being heel makes the feud more exciting, but it's kind of a bit soon to change someone, isn't it?
Bianca's gonna get booed though, so she has to play off it. She will get booed.
I don't know, you know.
It's so not fair. She did, she's not. Do you think it's just been the European tour and she will get cheered back in America?
Yeah, you'll notice that next week, man. The next last 2 weeks, we'll see what the crowd's really going to be like.
Okay, we'll see. I mean, they left they sent the crowd home that evening anyway. They made Rhea fuck up everyone and then
Yeah,
stand tall with the title belt.
yeah. And then they sent out Punk for the dark segment.
Brother, that was you know what, yeah. I I did mark out. I'm not gonna lie.
So you was ringside for that.
Yeah, that was that was my favorite. That include I don't know, man. That actually meant that was more fun for me than the Cena segment. Maybe because I was closer, but that was so beautiful what he did. He
Yeah,
he, he did a lovely speech.
yeah.
He touched on the climate of the world and that we're all together because the world is a bit of a fucked up place at the moment.
Mm,
And him addressing that just to suspend fantasy for a moment was quite endearing.
mm.
Um, and then for this man who genuinely looked like this is not character, like he was this close to me, right? And I
Mm.
could see him walking on those barriers. But he, first of all, to do such a sweet thing and dedicate a song to his wife at his coming home is a great example of how to be a good partner. Like
Yeah.
be in love that much, man. That is fucking cute and sweet and do that shit.
Mm.
Um, but for him to sing and scream he's going WrestleMania, he was so happy, Scan. Like you could see like he was like he couldn't believe he was here and he
Yeah,
was trying to enjoy every single moment.
yeah,
And these moments mean a lot to the fan, but you can tell when he was singing with everybody that Queen song,
yeah,
it just stuck in my fucking head. These,
yeah,
but he's ecstatic. His face is just smiling and in shock and just enjoying it. So it was a wonderful sight to see this guy who's dreamed about main event in WrestleMania, and to actually have it happen on SmackDown, be in tears and then of happiness, and here being complete like glee about it. Yeah, what did you think? Because you watched it from a different section.
bro. I totally agree with everything you're saying, man. You know, it's unusual because you usually get Cody sending the fans home happy, but the coach Punk Styler doing it as well, man, is phenomenal. You know, you're never gonna get Roman doing it, like so. It's just like it felt wholesome, it felt genuine. You know what I mean? And obviously he's like, oh, we're not on the network now. I can start swearing. So he's like, effing this, effing that.
Let's fucking go. Yeah.
But yeah, man, I'm mad jealous, bro. I would have loved to have been ringside for that, man. But yeah, just getting everyone to sing, man, dissing the Beatles, dissing the Rolling Stones, which was hilarious. Like, and it just, yeah, it took us out with a Queen's record, bro. But it was the perfect song. A nice
What a
little sing
song!
along.
I never
Oh,
heard that. Do you know what I mean? I've got Queen records. I've never come across that actual track, and
wow.
like, I love it now. What's it called?
Big,
Big
big
Bottom
bottom
Girls.
girls. You make the rock and roll go round.
You make rock and roll go round. Yeah, I
Brilliant.
mean, I've heard
Classic,
it,
bro.
that chorus, I think, but I don't think I ever identified who or when or what.
Yeah.
So for me, it's like
Bro,
hearing it first time.
Queen are goated for the anthems, bro. They got too many, bro. But
Yeah,
yeah, man, it was beautiful, man. It was a nice way to finish off the event. You know, yeah, like you said, man, back two shows back to back, brilliant. Both of them, bro. Both of them. WWE are killing shit right now, bro. Like literally,
we
like
got a John Cena heel turn promo against a babyface Cody Rhodes with Vince and Tony Khan mentioned where they were dressing people down. We got a Punk finding out he's going to finally main event WrestleMania, him cry in front of us for it. Like we are very lucky to have witnessed everything we witnessed live over this weekend. Like these are moments in wrestling history that we're also on TV for as well.
yeah,
But like it's moments in wrestling history that we got to witness and be a part of and will be cemented in decades after we're gone.
yeah, yeah.
Great, man.
Phenomenal, man.
Thank
Phenomenal.
you, WWE. Thank you, O2. Thank you, all of you, man. I can't, like, I don't know, I'm not normally that guy, but honestly, fucking thank you. You made a wrestling fan who watched it at the age of since 9 years old, left like Punk. I kind of left like Punk in it, 2014, and 10 years I came back. No, not 2014, 2004, and then 10 years I came back in 2014. And then came back and held on through all that bullshit 2018, 19, and Vince, and then like, you know, it was worth the wait. It was worth the investment. So that's all I gotta say. Yeah.
Yeah, man. And I echo that exact st sentiment, man. I dipped out for 10 years as well, came back with flipping, what's it, Rock and Cena. And yeah, just been there ever since, man. And yeah, it's a beautiful moment in time, man. And yeah, it's one of those things, man. It's not lost on me, man. I do notice the difference between IWC fans on Twitter who moan about everything and the people in the arenas that genuinely love the product, man. And that those are the people I like to be around, bro. Like Mark Henry said in the interview, man, like wrestling fans are some of the best people to be around. We'll sing random chants, walk into the train station. You know what I mean? Everybody's like in a good mood. It's a vibe, and that's yeah, man. I'm just out here living my best life. Bro. People hit me up on the socials, man. Oh, you really love wrestling, don't you? Yes, I enjoy professional wrestling, bro. Like, I'm not ashamed to say that shit. So, you know what I mean? We do our podcast, we talk about it. You know what I mean? You lot that are watching, you engage, hit us up in the comments. Let us know what you felt. If you was at these shows, maybe you got a different take to me and Sire, man. Let us know what you felt like. But it was one of those things, bro. The product is connecting with the people. Like they don't feel disconnected. And that's the vibe I got, like from the promos, from everything, man. I mean, what do you feel about that, Si?
Yeah, I think similar to what I said before, like it's people are coming out to support and be grateful and be thankful for what they have and what they've been given. It's not voicing their discontent with angles or storylines. Sometimes it's there, but we are actually showing up to have a fantastic time, scream and sing and support the hard work that the wrestling company WWE and specifically has been doing. Um, yeah, that's how I feel. I think it's a much more positive environment. It was very difficult being a wrestling fan, you know, in
Mm,
2016, watching some of that WrestleMania in 2017, 2018, 20. It was very difficult to hang on, I'll be honest. But yeah, we've all kind of, I think we're all kind of, it was kind of like group therapy, wrestling fans at that point. And now it feels like we're in recovery.
yeah.
Do you know what I mean? It's to put it quite. Yeah, it feels like we're in recovery and we're celebrating together. So it's that what a time to be a wrestling fan.
Yeah, man. And definitely we're on the road to WrestleMania. Obviously, future editions of the show, we're going to be talking about our predictions. We're going to have a little something, a vlog on Sweet Chin Disco. Obviously, check out the Mark Henry interview at the moment. And so much more content from the Mega Powers out there. Once again, shout out to Magic J. Shout out to Sire. It's been SKANDOUZ, the hip hop original, and that's our take on SmackDown and Raw live from the O2 in London. And the handshake, yes,
And I say,
exactly. And a new Mega Powers logo coming soon. Yeah,
coming soon.
coming soon.
Hello, wrestling fans. This is DJ Magic J with
SKANDOUZ, the hip hop original,
and we are the Mega Powers TV.
and what we're giving you is exclusive pro wrestling content. You get interviews, you get podcasts, and a whole bunch of other things.
So just remember, peoples, like, comment, share, subscribe to your friends, your family,
Your enemies,
and your loved ones. So just remember, we are the Mega Powers podcast TV, and we do everything else wrestling. The Mega Powers.
Two Mega Powers meeting here tonight.
The Mega Powers, brother.